Yeah.
Evening, I'm Shane, you, sir, are
Oscar Montaño González.
Mr. Montano Gonzalez.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a warrant here, charges for domestic violence assault, domestic violence criminal damage, and domestic violence disorderly conduct alleged occurred on August 22nd of 2023, along with failures to appear. Do you understand when you have matters you need to appear in court? You need to remain within the state of Arizona. You need to violate no laws. Do you understand that? You understand that?
I don't speak English.
Your Honor, it appears like he doesn't speak English.
Interpreters here, Your Honor.
Okay. There's no indication previously that he needed an interpreter, but that's fine.
El señor González ocupa intérprete.
Sí,
Mr. Gonzalez,
Interpreter has
yeah, I gotcha, and it looks like some of the paperwork was not filled out properly previously. I have a warrant here. Charges from August the 22nd of 2023.
Tengo una orden de arresto aquí que tiene que ver con cargos que se le acusaron del 22 de agosto del año 2023.
okay.
Okay.
Charges of domestic violence assault. Domestic violence criminal.
Los cargos son violencia intrafamiliar, agresión, violencia intrafamiliar, daños y perjuicios,
Domestic violence disorderly conduct, as well as failing to appear.
violencia intrafamiliar, alterar el orden público y también un cargo de incomparecencia.
¿Puedo hablar?
May I speak?
You may, but I suggest you not talk about facts of this case because this matter is being recorded and anything you say could be used against you at a later trial.
Señor, sí puede hablar, pero sugiero que no hable sobre los hechos del caso porque se está grabando la audiencia y cualquier cosa que usted diga se puede usar en su contra en un juicio.
Ok. Mi abogado no ha hablado con él. Saúl Huerta.
Perdón, señor, no entendí. ¿Puede repetir?
Que mi abogado Saúl Huerta no sabe de esta corte.
And is my lawyer, Saul Huerta, is he here today in this hearing?
Mr. Huerta was withdrawn months ago and you were given time to obtain your own attorney and to my knowledge have not done so.
Muy bien, se retiró el señor Huerta hace varios meses y usted le dieron a usted la oportunidad de conseguir su propio abogado y según lo que se pueda ver yo, usted no hizo eso.
Ok, porque en octubre 27 ya fui arrestado por esto y pagué fianza. O sea, supuestamente me han tumbado esos cargos.
So on October 17th, I was arrested for this and I paid the bond and supposedly those charges had been erased.
No, it looks like you were seen on October the 24th. You were given a video court date of November the 1st, an out of custody date of November the 25th.
No, señor, parece que lo vieron el 24 de octubre por video y le dieron una audiencia del 1 de noviembre por video, si usted todavía estaba en la cárcel, o una fecha de audiencia el 25 de noviembre si usted ya estaba en libertad.
And you did not appear on November the 26th.
Y no compareció para la audiencia el 25 de noviembre.
No, pues yo nunca recibí la noticia de esa en el correo.
Because I never received any word of that in the mail.
You received it when you were in custody.
Cuando usted estaba bajo custodia, usted recibió aviso que necesitaba comparecer en el tribunal el 25 de noviembre, señor.
25 de noviembre, chico. Ok, sí.
The 25th of November, okay.
Ok, sí fui. Y en el front desk me dijeron que no necesitaba, que no estaba esa corte ahí.
And I was told in the front desk that I didn't have my court wasn't there.
You did not.
No vino, señor. Usted no compareció, no llegó.
Ok, sí fui, pero ok, está.
That's fine.
I'm going to set this for a non-transport review on January the 10th at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Voy a fijar esta audiencia para un repaso de traslado el 10 de enero a las 9 de la mañana.
If you're out of custody, you must appear. Do you understand that?
Si usted está fuera de custodia, usted debe comparecer. ¿Entiende eso, señor?
Sí, señora.
Yes, ma'am.
If you are in custody, the judge may set it for a video review. It'll all depend on the status of your felony matter at that time.
Si usted todavía está bajo custodia, puede que el juez vaya a fijar una audiencia por video. Todo depende de cómo se está resolviendo o el caso de delito mayor que usted todavía tiene pendiente.
Great, thank you.
Gracias, señor.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Roger, was he released on that date or was the bond set?
So he was OR'd on this.
Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you, sir, are
Isaiah Moreno.
Mr. Moreno. I have charges here for August the 14th. Domestic violence assault, domestic violence disorderly conduct, domestic violence unlawful imprisonment.
That's all inaccurate, but okay.
Well, these were originally filed as a felony and that was declined. Bond is $2,500 in this matter.
So I got no police brutality. That's the only reason why I was fucking going crazy, is because I had a knee in my neck. But ain't no one gonna look at the videos, right?
This has nothing to do with that. This is a domestic violence charge.
I know, but for what?
Let's see, looks like the allegation is that while at a Motel 6, you accused April of cheating and assaulted her, causing bruising, and pulled her back into the room when she attempted to leave. Apparently, they charged it as a felony initially. County attorney dismissed the felony charges and it's being refiled as a misdemeanor.
Because none of it's accurate.
Well, you can discuss that with your attorney. The city public defender's office is appointed to represent you. Bond is $2,500. You have no contact with Ms. Grijalva. You're not to go near her residence or workplace. You're not to drive without a valid license. No firearms or weapons and no acts of domestic violence. Your next court date is going to be December the 23rd at 1:30. Police brutality case, that's a different, the assault on a police officer is a different case. And looks like you're going to be arraigned on that on the 20th of December. All right, thank you.
Yeah, hope you same area. Yeah, because I guess they left them in the cell with the rope, because they didn't even follow. Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shade and you, sir, are
Paul Andrew Ingram, Your Honor.
Mr. Ingram. I have apparently found a warrant out of Yuma County.
Can I make a statement, ma'am?
You can if you want to, but you really don't need to. Just remember that it's being recorded and could be used against you.
Well, I just wanted to say, I'm on VA disability as equivalent to SMI. I have a payee. She came down with brain cancer suddenly in September, and I didn't know that this wasn't being paid. Obviously, it's not her fault.
You don't really need to talk about this right now. Okay?
Okay. All right. Well, I didn't know it wasn't paid.
You need to go to Yuma County Justice Court on December the 30th at 1:00 in the afternoon. Do you understand that?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. I have a new payee, and I have transportation, so that's not a problem.
All right. All right. Thank you, Mr. Ingram.
Well, I was supposed to be OR. Does this release that?
This will release you. Yes.
I thank you very much, Your Honor. I appreciate your time.
Your Honor, this is the interpreter. It doesn't look like there's any more Spanish. Just wondering if that is the case, if I could be excused.
I'll double check with the jail, but it also indicated we didn't need you in the first place, so I'm a little confused.
Oh, Judge, they're saying that there is one more.
Okay, thank you.
I'll stay on, obviously.
Thank you.
Your Honor, that's gonna be number one in each separate, Vila Jose.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you are,
The Jennifer Delarco.
Ms. Delarco. I have quite a number of things here for you.
Okay. I have the money saved for the tickets.
That's not, the issue is appearing in court.
Oh, okay. I can appear in court.
Well, you haven't been. I have warrants at Pima County Justice Court, charges from January 17th of last year, so almost 2 years ago, for shoplifting, failing to appear in court. I have.
Oh, I just got a job.
Go through them.
I'm sorry.
Number the 8th of last year for theft and criminal trespass, failing to appear in court. Charges from May 31st of this year. Shoplifting and possession of drug paraphernalia, failing to appear in court. Charges from April the 13th. Shoplifting, criminal trespass, failing to appear in court.
I know I haven't, but I promise to appear next time.
I have 4 more files for you out of city court.
Okay.
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 Your next court date on the Justice Court matters is going to be Monday at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
Your bond will be $250. Caitlin Waters is appointed to represent you on these charges. You're not to go to any incident location. You're not
Okay.
to consume any alcohol or illegal drugs.
You'll let her know. Is it a bond or are you letting me? Are you releasing me tonight? Is there any way I can be released tonight? Is there any? I don't have I can't pay a bond. I don't have any cash.
7 files with failure to appear, and you have new charges.
Okay.
Okay.
Um.
So your next court date on the Justice Court matters is going to be the 16th at 1 o'clock. Let me finish that paperwork and then I'll get to the city court matter for you.
Okay. Is there any way I could be released tonight?
if someone posts the bond for you.
And how much is the bond?
This matter is $250.
No one would post a bond for me. And every time I've been here, everyone just waits for the bond to be posted and no one pays it. Is there any way that I could pay that? I'm more likely to pay that when I out there instead of being waiting for someone to pay my bond in here.
The purpose of the bond is to assure your appearance. So releasing.
Okay. I promise to appear no matter what.
You
Right.
promised that
I-
before.
I know, but I have a job. Like, I can't, like, miss work.
Well, hopefully you don't have work.
I
Saturday or
do.
Sunday or Monday.
I have work tomorrow. Right.
Well, you'll have to let them know you're not going to make it unless you post the bond.
Okay. And then, so the court is on Monday?
The court is on Monday, yes.
Okay, for both, for
Nope.
both city.
No, I haven't done the city court ones yet. I need to look at those files.
Just let her talk. Let her paperwork, what both your court dates are, whatever you have. Just let her.
So Tucson City Court, we have charges from November the 30th for criminal trespass, vicinity 4540 North Stone, failing to appear on December the 11th. So earlier this week.
Okay, I know, I just started a job. Sorry.
Then I have charges from September the 24th for criminal trespass, 3220 North Stone, failure to appear in court. Charges for possession of paraphernalia, June the 24th, failure to appear in court. And charges for shoplifting on February the 4th of this year, 4910 North First. Failing to appear on the initial citation. And then you were seen in custody later that same day, given a court date of March 21st, didn't appear then. You were then in custody on May the 31st, released and given the court date of June the 28th and didn't appear then. So bond on this will be $100. You're not to return to any innocent locations. If you post the bond, your court date's January 13th at 2 o'clock. If you haven't posted the bond, it will be next Friday at 1:45.
Okay,
Right? Thank you, Mr. Delarco.
thank you.
Boris.
Good evening. I'm Judge Shade, and you, sir, are
William Morris.
Mr. Morris. I have a warrant here charging you with shoplifting and criminal trespass alleged occurred on May 13th of this year, failing to appear on June the 19th. You also have a felony warrant
Mhm.
Be seen on that whenever Superior Court decides to see you. Your next court date on this is going to be Monday at 1 o'clock. Caitlin Waters is appointed to represent you on these charges. Bond is $100. Thank you.
So I'm staying.
You're staying because of the felony warrant, no matter what I do.
What is the felony warrant for?
Give me a minute, see if I can find it.
Possession of narcotic drugs.
Mm.
Possession of narcotic drugs.
Okay. There you go. All right, thank you.
All right.
And
All right, good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you, sir, are
Patrick Sanders.
Mr. Sanders. I have a citation charging you with domestic violence harassment by communication.
Yes, ma'am.
Your next court date is going to be January the 15th at 10 o'clock in the morning in the Moreno Municipal Court. You understand that you need to be present at that time.
Yes, ma'am.
You understand you are to have absolutely no contact with Hannah.
About that, there's a no contact order. And on it, because we work together.
You have no contact with her. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You're not to go near her residence. You're not to go near her at work. You're not to text her. You're not to contact her by social media. You're not to call her or her family. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You also need to get a behavioral health assessment and a substance abuse assessment and begin any recommended treatment. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Sanders. The Transition Center right outside the jail can help you with those resources as well.
Yes, ma'am.
yeah.
Your Honor, this is the interpreter. Is this next gentleman the Spanish speaker?
I believe so.
Okay, good.
I like this one.
Oh.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you, sir, are.
Jose Rafael
Muy
Ávila.
buenas noches.
But you're gonna have.
Muy buenas noches, señor. Yo,
Need an interpreter. Is that correct?
No, you can read one.
Do you want one?
Well, no, I'll just speak. I'll talk to her.
Okay, because we have an interpreter if you want.
No, it's too much stuff.
Okay. Okay, Judge, never mind. We don't need the interpreter.
Okay.
Mr. Avila, interim complaint.
Yes, ma'am.
Aggravated assault alleged occurred yesterday. We'll appoint public defender's office to represent you on these charges, and did either counsel wish to be heard on conditions?
Your Honor, I would just note the NVCA flag and his history of violence.
Judge, we're asking that Mr. Avila is released to pretrial services, or if you're not inclined to lower bond. He is fully employed. He's a contractor. He has appointments this weekend. He has ties to Tucson. He grew up in Tucson. His family's in Tucson. And if he were released, he'd go to his parents' house.
Preliminary hearing dates January the 2nd at 1:30. Pima County Justice Court will be released to the third party custody of pretrial services. You need to comply with their monitoring. You need to report to them. No alcohol or illegal drugs. Do you understand that? And no
Yes, I
driving
understand that.
without a valid license.
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
Judge, just to confirm, you said January 2nd?
That is correct. Thank you, Mr. Avila.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So jail, let me confirm, we do not have any more Spanish speakers. Is that correct?
Correct, Judge. I spoke with the rest of the felonies.
All right, thank you. So you may be excused. Thank you.
thank you, Your Honor.
Assuming you're not independent.
Just.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you, sir, are.
Edgar Antonio Salvador Hernandez.
Did counsel wish to waive reading?
Yes, Judge.
We'll appoint public defender's office to represent you on these charges, and did either counsel wish to be heard further on conditions?
Just real brief, Judge. I'll be as brief as I can for court etiquette, but this seems like a pretty violent offense to me. And he also should note imitated being a Pima County Sheriff's Department deputy as well, as alleged in the interim complaint.
Judge, we're asking that Mr. Salazar Hernandez is released to pretrial services. He is fully employed. He has significant ties to the community, and he has no criminal history.
Anything further from the state?
Your Honor, he might not have any criminal history. It's alarming. He would imitate a separate law enforcement agency, and I would be happy to go into the very detailed facts, but this seems like a very violent act that occurred here. So it's very alarming conduct. Again, he's facing significant mandatory flat prison time per count, consecutive to one another. So the state feels some form of a bond, not a low bond. A higher bond is appropriate. Again, it appears towards the beginning of the interim, he's imitating also being a law enforcement officer in some capacity.
And Judge,
That's-
I'm sorry.
I'm not done. That he's not associated with, Judge.
And Judge, if I may just add one last detail, he is active duty and he's military police.
Which frankly makes this a little more concerning. Preliminary hearing dates December 23rd at 1:30. Bond is $50,000. If you post the bond, you'll be released to pretrial services. No alcohol or illegal drugs, no firearms or weapons, no contact with the alleged victim. You're not going near the victim's residence or workplace. No social media or dating meeting application usage. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Salazar Hernandez. And do we have the rest of the defendants in the courtroom?
Yes, Judge.
Was that an affirmative?
Yes.
Can I say something?
No, don't say anything.
Well, I want to.
This is addressed to everyone in the courtroom. Good evening. I'm Judge Shayette. This is the time set for initial appearances. That is the time for you to be formally advised of charges against you. For me to set conditions of release, appoint counsel, and give you another court date. It is not the time to talk about facts of the cases or ask that charges be dismissed. Conditions of release will always include that you violate no laws, that you appear at all court dates, that you remain within the state of Arizona unless you receive permission of the court to leave the state. There may be additional conditions based on your history, your circumstances, and the events that occurred. Remember that this matter is recorded, that anything you say may be used in subsequent court hearings. So I'd suggest you not discuss these matters with anyone except your attorney, and then only when there are no other people present. Right. And you, sir, are?
Someone all day.
Mr. Alday. I have a warrant out of Pima County Superior Court charging you with 2 counts of domestic violence stalking, 1 count of domestic violence criminal damage, 2 counts of controlling the imprisonment of minors, and 1 count of intimidation, threatening, or harassment versus via electronic communications. These are alleged to have occurred on or about the 12th of August of 2024. I will appoint the Legal Defender's Office to represent you on these charges, set an arraignment date of December the 20th at 1:30, and did either counsel wish to be heard further on conditions?
Your Honor, we're requesting the no bond hold. He appears to be on release for the case he's actually pending trial on now, just based on the dates of releases.
Sure. You've got that in your, I already have that information.
Nothing further than, Judge.
Anything from
Judge, we just request for a no bond hearing to be set.
You will hold without bond in this matter. The no bond hearing will be December the 18th at 2:30. No acts of domestic violence, no alcohol or illegal drugs, no firearms or weapons, no contact with Daniela Nunez all day. You're not going to her residence or work. Do you understand that?
Might be released them.
Do you under?
Yes.
You're being held without bond. This is alleged to have occurred while you were on release on the charges that you're pending trial on. As a result, the state can ask for an automatic no bond hold. So that's the status.
And Your Honor, did you say the arraignment was December 20th? Okay.
Good evening, I'm Judge Sayed, and you, sir, are
Paul Bartlett?
Mr. Bartlett, in a complaint charging you with unlawful possession of narcotics and unlawful possession of paraphernalia alleged occurred earlier today.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll appoint public defender's office to represent you on these charges, and did either counsel wish to be heard further on conditions?
Just that a smart hearing be set, Judge.
Thank you, I'd missed that.
Nothing further, Judge.
We'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you on these charges. What Mr. Goodman mentioned was a smart court hearing. That's a treatment court hearing.
Yes, ma'am.
You may be eligible to participate in that. That could result in a reduction or dismissal of the charges, or no filing of the charges. So did counsel wish to waive time for initial appearance or for, excuse me, preliminary hearing?
Yes, Judge.
All right. So you want to look at January 27th or 28th? We'll say January 28th at 1:30 for preliminary hearing. But your next court date is December 23rd at 9 a.m.
Okay.
in Pima County Superior Court for a smart court hearing. You're going to release to the third-party custody of pretrial services. You'll participate in monitoring and treatment of their supervision. That will include no alcohol or illegal drugs. Illegal drugs include prescription drugs that are not prescribed for you. And you're not
Yes, ma'am.
back to any Circle K stores. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shane, and you are? Mr. Crawford, in a complaint charging with third-degree burglary and theft of a credit card alleged to have occurred on October the 24th. Will appoint public defender's office to represent you on these charges, and did either counsel wish to be heard on conditions?
Your Honor, I would just note each and every one of his felony priors are for similar conduct. That's why the state's asking for a bond on this matter.
Judge, we're asking that Mr. Crawford is released to pretrial services, or if you're not inclined, a lower bond. Pretrial services identified this as nonviolent. He's lived in Tucson his whole life, and if he were released, he'd go to his apartment where he lives with his girlfriend.
Preliminary hearing date is going to be December the 23rd at 1:30. The bond is $2,500. If you post the bond, you'll be distributed to pretrial services. No alcohol or illegal drugs, no contact with the alleged victims. You don't go to incident location or any Circle K. Substance abuse assessment and treatment is available in custody or is directed by pretrial services if you are out of custody. Do you understand that? All right, thank you, Mr. Crawford. All right, counsel, I have a question for you. On all day, it's a slightly different situation because it's already at Superior Court, not Justice Court level. Does a no bond hearing
Yes.
on those, or it just stays?
What was that? What was that question, Judge?
When a case is a Superior Court case as opposed to awaiting preliminary hearing, so it's still a Justice Court case, does a no bond hearing get set?
Yes, it can. And what I've seen happen in the past and the circumstances where they come back on warrant and that happens, Division TO, if they would prefer the trial judge to handle it, I've seen them recalendar by case management once that gets set over there.
Leave it. All right, thank you. Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you, sir, are?
Nicholas Andrew Hernandez.
Mr. Hernandez, in a complaint charged with possession of narcotic drug, possession of narcotic for sale, carrying a weapon in commission of a felony, prohibited possessor in possession of a firearm, and possession of paraphernalia. Will appoint public defender's office to represent you on these charges. And did either counsel wish to be heard on conditions, noting that there is an APO hold?
Nothing to add, Your Honor.
Yes, Judge, we're asking for a $500 bond for time credit. The charge was identified by pretrials as nonviolent and his history is nonviolent. So we're asking for a $500 bond for time credit.
Preliminary hearing is September 23rd, 1:30. Bond is $2,500. If the bond is posted Then you'll be released to pretrial services. There's been no firearms in your residence or vehicles. You're not to stay with anyone who has firearms. You're not to possess any firearms and no alcohol or illegal drugs. Thank you, Mr. Hernandez. Good evening. I'm Judge Shade, and you, sir, are
Hey, not right now. Oh my gosh,
Mr. Martinez. I've been in a complaint charging you with possession of paraphernalia. The state is dismissing those charges. That is a dismissal without prejudice, which means that those charges may be refiled at a later. I also have warrant out of Green Valley for reckless burning. And failing to appear in court date. Understand, when you have a court date, you need to appear. in court.
Yes.
I also have a warrant, that warrant, hold on just a second. Your next court date in Green Valley is going to be December the 19th at 8:30 in the morning. Do you understand that you need to be present at that time?
Yes.
No alcohol or illegal drugs. You're also to possess no matches, lighters, or other incendiary devices.
Okay.
At a fire. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez.
Judge, I have a question really quick about the justice court. So it says Pima County Justice Court - Green Valley.
Green
Is he gonna
Valley.
go to the,
It's
okay,
Green Valley Justice Court, yes.
okay, okay. So you're gonna get the paperwork with all those addresses, but it's gonna be Green Valley Justice Court.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're not just a court.
Mhm.
Okay. All right.
You're gonna get paperwork.
Okay. All right.
ROR. For the phone, it got dismissed.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shayad, and you are
Melissa Isabel Mendoza.
Miss Mendoza, in a complaint charging you with 13 counts of fraudulent schemes and artifices and theft. We'll appoint public defender's office to represent you on these charges, and at either counsel wish to be heard on conditions.
No, Your Honor.
No, Judge.
Preliminary hearing date is going to be January the 2nd at 1:30 in the afternoon in the Pima County Justice Court. You'll be released to the third-party custody of pretrial services. You'll participate in monitoring and treatment under their supervision. No alcohol or illegal drugs. You're not to go near any Target stores. You're not to have any contact with any potential co-defendants, including Salisa Zuniga. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
Right. Thank you, Ms. Mendoza.
Yeah. Okay. Have a seat.
And Judge, if I may, like to waive reading for the next one for Mr. Salcido.
All right. Mr. Salcido, we will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you on these charges. Set an arraignment date for December the 20th at 1:30 in the afternoon. Did either counsel wish to be heard further on conditions?
So I do.
Other than the nature of the offense, Judge, just reminding the court of the no unsupervised contact with that category of individuals.
And yes, Judge, we're asking that Mr. Salcido is released to pretrial services. He has no new charges, no other criminal history at 61. He has lifelong ties to Tucson. He's retired, and he has confirmed housing with his sister.
Bond is $35,000. If that's posted, you'll be in a decision of pretrial services, no alcohol or illegal drugs, no contact with alleged victims or any minors. You're not to go to the victim's residence or schools or any parks, playgrounds, schools, or child care centers. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Salcido.
Hold on.
Martin.
Okay. Shoot.
Good evening, I'm Judge Ted.
Martinez.
Mr. Ted, in a complaint charging possession of dangerous drugs, possession of narcotic drugs, and possession of paraphernalia. We'll appoint public defender's office to represent you on these charges, and did either counsel wish to
No, Judge.
consider on conditions of release?
Just that a smart hearing be set, Judge.
We'll set a smart court hearing for December 23rd at 9 o'clock in the morning. That's basically a treatment court hearing. If you comply with that program, you may be eligible to have these charges dismissed or reduced, or never even filed. Did you want to proceed with that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did counsel wish to waive time for PH?
Yes, Judge.
Preliminary hearing date right now is set for January 28th at 1:30. You're going to be released to the third-party custody of pretrial services. No alcohol or illegal drugs, no acts of domestic violence. You need to comply with smart court. Do you understand that?
I do.
I also have new misdemeanor charges. Or not so new. Charges from December the 4th, actually, for failing to comply with an order, domestic violence court order. Do you understand that you're to have absolutely no contact with your brother?
I do, Your Honor. Yes.
All right, your next court date on these is going to be January 13th at 10 o'clock in the morning with your other city court matters. City Public Defender's Office will still represent you at this point. No contact with Ruben, no alcohol or illegal drugs. You need to comply with smart court. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am. I haven't drank in 7 years.
Well, then there's the other issue. So.
Haven't done that yet.
No, you don't have to say anything, right?
Thank you.
So John, that's it. So you can go back out to the fit. Exercise. This.
Haircut.
Good evening, I'm Judge Chayad, and you, sir, are
Andres Valenzuela.
Mr. Valenzuela. We'll start the warrant out of Pima County Superior Court, charging you with aggravated domestic violence, harassment, and aggravated domestic violence alleged occurred on or about July 25th. Noting that there is probation violation and an APO hold, did either counsel wish to be heard on conditions of release? We'll appoint public defender's office, set an arraignment date for December the 20th at 1:30.
Nothing further to add on the warrant, Judge.
Yes, Judge, we're asking, no, we're asking for $1,000 bond for time credit, given the APO hold.
Bond will be $2,500. If that's posted, you'll be under the supervision of pretrial services. No alcohol or illegal drugs, no acts of domestic violence. Beginning right this moment, absolutely no contact with Ms. Mendez. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I don't know that.
You don't go near her residence or workplace. Then we have new charges for possession of narcotics. We'll appoint public defender's office to represent you on these charges. Did either counsel wish to be heard further on conditions?
Your Honor, since he's going to be held on the other matters, we would just request the smart hearing with a 10-day PH date since he'll be held.
Judge, we're asking for the same and a $1,000 bond for 10 credit.
$1,000 bond it is. Smart court hearing is December 23rd at 9. Preliminary hearing is December 23rd at 1:30. Thank you, Mr. Valenzuela.
Sorry, put back around. And that's everyone, Your Honor.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Have a good night, Twyla. Have a good night, Your Honor.